excellent for the Niners last year when he came over mid-season. He will kick it off. Brock Bowers has his helmet on. Again, we will see most of the starters here tonight. If it's a few snaps, if it's a couple series, that we'll find out. But we expect to see these guys. Arrow has us underway. Devin Tompkins into the end zone. Down to a knee. Remember the third year of this new kick. It is Mike Washington pounding over a defender, carrying the open.
Washington finishes, right? Watch how he finishes. He keeps those pads square, and boom, sometimes you got to BYOB, be your own blocker.
I'm liking how that offensive line's finishing too, taking some guys to the ground.
Well, part of that offensive line in front of Washington, Jackson Powers Johnson. He is in there at right guard. Remember, he was dinged up before the Texans practice week, did not play. Washington again. Look at the block for the fullback Hayward to get him the first down. Well, this is an indication of the last couple of weeks what we will see this year. They've been in a lot of I formations with Connor Hayward here in the preseason.
The fullback position is alive, Rich. You play with a fullback.
I love it. John Ritchie in the house tonight as well with the alumni weekend. But, you know, look, we know Mike Washington can run the ball, but can he handle the passing game? And I think that's what we want to see a little bit tonight, you know, in terms of protection, in terms of responsibilities, and his ability to get out of the backfield and make some catches.
That is Brock Bowers at the top of your screen. He is split out wide. It is Bowers, and it is broken up. That is the aforementioned Jack Jones. And we saw it here over the course of a season and a half.
He's all over it.
8 career interceptions for Jones. He's got 4 touchdowns in what is now his 5th season out of ASU. Cousins back to the air. Good protection. Back to Bowers. And he is wrapped up. Tatum Bethune, 3rd year out of Florida State, one of the backup linebackers. It'll be 3rd down.
Really enjoyed our visit with Kirk Cousins yesterday and him talking about the tight end position. He feels really comfortable with that group. And, you know, even his comfort level with Trey Tucker and Jalen Naylor. And I think he's trying to develop that rapport with some of those other young receivers. And I think every rep that he can get with some of those young receivers is critically important to their ability to trust how those guys are going to respond week 1.
Well, and for Brock Bowers, you know, you just assume that is target number 1, and then from there you figure it out. Cousins came off the initial hit. He found Jalen Naylor. It's a 1st down. Between Bethune and the corner, Jacob Robinson, they move the chains.
It's a nice job on the protection. Remember, Mike Washington, his first opportunity in this protection involved early on.
Kirk, I could throw from that pocket. That's a clean pocket. That's a good-looking job by the group up front.
Back in that old school I formation, toss play. Got 2 blockers out in front for Washington, and he gets into the secondary, brought down by Stroman. There is a flag down right around the line where Washington was taken down after an 8-yard run. Second, Rich, almost 15 yards fewer than the 31st place team. There's Trey Tucker. And he picks up all of that penalty yardage and more. It'll be 2nd down and 4 coming up. Trey Tucker, Kirk Cousins couldn't say enough great things about Tucker. He said, you know, in my 14 years in the NFL, had a lot of speed guys. Most of them want to do one thing. Trey Tucker's a different story.
What possible? He's got what I would refer to as rare and unusual speed at the wide receiver position.
And he lines up all over the place. Played slot receiver in college at Cincinnati. He's in the backfield off that motion. And they throw it to Tucker. He's got 1 man to beat. Gets the sideline, 1st down. He left the rookie Jaden Duggar in his dust, picked up 8 yards.
Well, let's take a look at the keys for success offensively this season for the Raiders. I thought about, guys, how about some
offensive line coach, experienced Super Bowl, been in the NFL for more than 3 decades. There've been, you know, we've had a chance to talk to a variety of the offensive linemen over the last 3-4 weeks. They have credited with his energy that he still brings all this time in the league.
30 years of NFL coaching experience. He was brought in to restore order along that offensive line, and if he works his magic like he normally does, this might be one of the most improved units in all of football.
And that unit right there, Miller, Burford, Linderbaum, and Glaze at right tackle. They've been working with the ones the entire camp. Been a battle at right guard. Jackson Powers Johnson and Caleb Rogers. Tonight's JPJ in his 3rd year out of Oregon. He gets the nod. 2nd down and 6 on a lengthy opening drive. Washington spun his way right into a tackle. Jalen Graham, 4th year out of Purdue, was the one who spun him backwards, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Jason. Look, that's just 10 plays on this drive, and a lot of it is about Rico Dennison right there. We call him Rico.
It's been around some good ones.
Now, 11th play of the drive. Kirk Cousins in his only drive in the preseason, game 1. 10-play drive. They scored a touchdown. This is already 5.5 minutes. Dylan Laube trying to push the pile. He's not going to get the first down. They ran it on 3rd down and 4. Pushed backwards. Are you going for this here?
Well, they ran it on 3rd and 4, knowing they were going to go for it on 4th down. I mean, that's what you have with a really good play caller. And of course, they kicked the field goal. You run it in that situation because if you get 4th and a yard, you go for it. But they've got a long 2 or 3.
Yep.
That wasn't very good.
Well, remember, there is position battles everywhere. Matt Gay has been in a battle throughout the camp with Kansei Matsuzawa, although it seems that Gay has performed in games certainly top-notch. Made from 52 last week. The veteran this time from 37, out of the hold of A.J. Cole. And Kirk Cousins leads the Raiders on a scoring drive. Jordan Watkins back deep. He will bring this out for the 49ers. They had a punt return touchdown last week, and he is blasted. Patrick Johnson continues to make plays to try and make this roster, both defensively and on special teams.
Yeah, he made a nice little move there. I was
not going to see Brock Purdy. Not going to see most of the starters. Kalen Black, the starting running back, 3rd-round pick out of Indiana. It's Fernando Mendoza's teammate. Mac Jones chased down Kwity Paye. Got him on a couple of yards. Mac Jones known for a lot of things the last couple of years, running, not one of them.
It's been a slow process early on. He didn't make many plays to begin, but once the installs were done, you saw Trayton Stoops takes his play to another level.
He is so versatile. They have loved his ability to try and get that ball. Nobody home. Kalen Black was looking one way. Mac Jones threw it the other way, and just like that,
Play a few more reps together in week 3.
Here they come with a blitz. Mac Jones, deep shot to Watkins. Not there. Taron Johnson, like Velcro on the 2nd-year receiver out of Ole Miss, and it's a 3-and-out.
Yeah, go ahead, put the seatbelt on. That guy was strapped up. That's a nice job by Taron Johnson, stand in the hip. There was nowhere to go with that football. Mac Jones, honestly.
Corliss Waitman in his 4th year in the league, kicking away to Malik Benson. Seen a lot of Devin Tompkins on returns. This year, the rookie out of Oregon. And he is lit up immediately downfield for the Niners. Kadarrell Hodge, longtime special team great. Game day in the record book. Week 1, Raiders will host the Dolphins here at Allegiant Stadium. Washington bounces that outside. He rumbles for 14 more, and he has put on his ability all preseason to make some big plays.
Well, that's one of his best plays. It's a
33-yarder against the Texans, a 53-yarder against the Cardinals. He breaks another tackle and gets 5 or 6 here. Already so far in this ball game for Mike Washington, 6 carries for 33 yards. But more importantly, for this offensive line, Clint Kubiak said, hey, I need these guys to gel. And they've had that battle at right guard. Caleb Rogers is in on this series after JPG started the game. And they are putting it on the Niners here. This was the throw. Tucker gets a block from Colton Miller. Nobody saw the gentleman coming from behind. Obo Okoronkwo. Well, Kirk Cousins, first drive 4 of 5, 35, resulted in a field goal, 15th year. And as we were talking to him,
Coach Kirk Cousins seems to get a head coaching job. Clint Kubiak's the next one up.
Michael Mayer went in motion, breaks a tackle, and just can't keep his feet, but he's got a first down. But Rich, to that point, right? Your career at Minnesota, you finished strong here with the Raiders, an MVP late in your career and leading the team to the Super Bowl. That's something else Kirk Cousins told us yesterday. Look, Atlanta didn't go the way he thought it was. It didn't go well. But people remember how you finish.
Yeah, I think what a luxury for a head coach and an organization to have an air traffic controller. You know, a guy that's been around a lot of different coaches and systems of football. I love that he takes ownership. You know, he's in that meeting yesterday. He wants control in the huddle at the line of scrimmage. I think it's very helpful that he did spend 3 years together with Clint Kubiak in Minnesota.
Pocket holds. Mike Washington cannot hold on. Jalen Graham was out there to hit him right as that ball got to his fingers.
Opportunity to play with the ones, and I think he'll start the season for the Raiders.
To the ground, huge hole for Washington. Carries a defender for 11 yards. Ashton Davis, the veteran safety, was slow to get up for the Niners, and now he hobbles back to his feet.
But it allowed
great sense for the running game. He's just a very natural runner that bobs and weaves with great ease.
Trying to set up the tight end screen to Michael Mayer, and great play. Darrell Luter Jr. He played a lot last year, got a ton of first-team looks, 3 starts for the Niners, and that's a great open field tackle.
It's always difficult for a left tackle like Colt Miller. He's got to wait behind that line of scrimmage.
Their starters here, the reality for the 49ers, they were not good last year in the secondary. 25th against the pass. Remember, they only had 20 sacks, dead last in the league by a wide margin. Cousins finds Jack Besh. He sat down, picks up about 5 or 6. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Rich, you keep talking about this pocket. I mean, Kirk Cousins back there fanning himself. The way this offensive line has been blocking so far to start this game.
Well, he's a guy that can get really hot. And if you give him a clean pocket and there's not a lot of push up inside, he can sit in there and pick you apart. Very accurate thrower of the football. When you look at his numbers over the years, he's a 67% completion guy, and he's thrown for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. He's coming up on 300 career passing touchdowns. That should get done early this season.
He had 30 touchdowns 3 times in his career. 35 was his career high in 2020 with the Vikings. On 3rd down, that is a tough throw and great coverage. Saran Neal one-on.
This is man coverage.
Matt Gay last week hit from 52. This from 53. Cole puts it down, and he is still perfect here in the preseason.
You know what I mean? I'm an old LBs.
I played with a lot of intense guys, but Bill Romanowski might top the list. He was I hated playing against him when he was in San Francisco, Philly, and Denver, but I loved him as a teammate.
You know, he made me drink a protein shake.
Sure he did.
This morning, or was that like after breakfast?
During breakfast.
Keem Sloan made that tackle, and so, you know, 2 of the guys, Kirk, that we were going to highlight on the defense, the younger guys trying to make the
preseason. He's trying to make this roster tonight.
Niners opening drive with Mac Jones. They had 3 plays. They got 2 yards. Raiders first-team defense out here for a second series. That's a big gap to the outside that is closed. Kalen Black, such a violent runner. Nakobe Dean.
% of their opportunities on 3rd down.
To the ground. It is a 1st down for San Francisco. Now, and again, the personnel is just so different, particularly up front. Now, we were not seeing Max Crosby tonight. He's the only expected Raiders starter defensively who is not playing tonight, and we have not seen him all preseason. But that being said, and Max will join us later on the broadcast, you asked Clint Kubiak who shined more than you expected, and that's the guy he points to.
Yeah, he's a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he can really ruin a game plan by himself. What the Raiders need is they need more players that play with that intensity and that confidence and that swagger that we see from Max each week. And I think we talked a lot about it, guys, creating negative plays, sacks and forced fumbles, and taking the ball away in the secondary interceptions. They need to get their hands on more balls to be a better defense in 2026.
And there's a reason why they added 2 former Georgia Bulldogs. That confidence, that swagger, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker.
Mac Jones with play action. He's got all day to throw. And a brilliant job by Eric Stokes. Stayed with Jordan Watkins all the way across. They have the rookie Dejon Stribling. Hasn't played yet tonight. Raiders come with a blitz. Mac Jones off his back foot. No one home. Will Pauling, the intended receiver, the rookie out of Notre Dame. Benson Field, the first punt. This time it's Dylan Laube. Scored a touchdown last week as the running back in that comeback against the Texans. He waves for the late fair catch, and he makes it at the 15-yard line. A 42-yard punt. All the set to throw on his first snap. He's hit. What a grab by Naylor! Mendoza was drilled as he threw it. It was way behind the free agent signing from the Vikings, and he
back up, pat you on the back, and said, keep it coming all game long.
I was rewatching yesterday the national championship game. He was bloodied, he was battered, and he led him to a national championship anyway. Over the middle, through the hands of Naylor, and intercepted. Tatum the third off of the pinball. And he's finally brought down by his former Niner teammate Spencer Burford. Naylor couldn't handle it. It's a 16-yard return the other direction.
All right, now if I'm coaching the quarterback, I say maybe this is too tight a window, and it would have taken a perfect throw and coming out of your own end zone. This is one that I think you got to look somewhere else. You just want
backers in game 3, get deeper in your throw and your depth.
Force him to throw the ball.
Force him to throw the ball.
Now, quick change here, and Adrian Martinez in at quarterback. And it's a toss play to Fernando's former college teammate, And Kalen Black, who rushed for 15 yards all the way in.